Alright folks, welcome back to another exciting episode of Bones Backyard Homestead. On this episode, we're going to finish these walls. Now, right now, we're about halfway done, so let me take you back to the beginning and show you all the fun we've had so far. Leave a comment down below if you can think of what color I might think about painting these walls, and we'll see if you're right by the end of the video. Stay tuned. Alright, well, I'm not sure if that got captured on the time lapse, but as I was trying to delicately remove the cabinet from around the pipes, it broke off right below the water shut off. So I had to run downstairs really quickly, get to the main water, and shut the main water off. Somebody's not happy about it either because, yeah, that means we're out of water now, so. Yeah, bud. Oh, geez. So, gotta figure out this fix now. This went downstairs. And it was pouring downstairs. It's, yeah. Fun. Looks like it's still leaking, so I better get off the camera and figure this out. Alright, now that I got that crisis diverted, at least I hope so. For now, I was able to put a shut-off valve right above it. I haven't turned on the water to double check, but I'm going to do that here in a minute. I just wanted to show you guys, I kind of got ahead of myself again. Went ahead and tore the rest of the drywall out. The outlets that I'm wanting to redo with GFCIs, I got those plugged, and I went ahead and put the first sheet of sheetrock down. I prefer to do it this way, and the reason why is I just have one straight seam down. Perfect, right? Well, the other thing is, I wish I had a piece, but on this edge of the drywall, it is actually beveled down. That way when you mud, you can actually have room to feather out. So like if you were to actually put like a 12-inch trowel across the seam, it actually dips in, right? Think about that. If you were to have that dip down on the floor. So that's when you come into running into problems when you're running trim. So if that bevel was on the ground, your trim is going to start doing that. Running it like this, the bevel bevels in at each seam, but your trim would actually go across that bevel. And as long as you mud it and sand it right, you won't see that bevel because the bevel should be flush when you're sanding properly. So that's the reason why I do mine drywall this way. It is a little bit of a stretch to get up there in mud and come down the seam. But I think in the long run, it's going to help all the professions doing it this way because, like I said, if you can just run it, somebody else comes in and mud just one seam instead of one long seam. If another person comes in and does your trim work, you save that much more. Make sure if you're doing a remodel like this, you spend extra time to go back through and pull all these nails out. Okay? The reason why, for one, your drywall is not going to sit. Your drywall is not going to be able to sit there, right? So what's going to happen is something like that. It actually pushed the nail through. I didn't see it. Pushed the nail through, and I was like, God dang it. So luckily that's in the corner. That's going to be seamed up. the bevel pretty much ends right here. So I got plenty of room to hide that with the tape and the bevel and the mud. So yeah, I'm gonna knock out this wall tonight, cutting around the window, the light switches and lights and all that stuff. Let's get at it. Let's knock this out real quick. This is not gonna take very long. All right, folks, it's another day, another bad hair day. So I just want to let you guys know that whenever you're doing a remodel or whatever, do it right the first time. So let me explain what I mean by that. So I'm adding in this outlet box right here into an existing line of 20 amp outlets. Now, when I did that, in the last clip you probably saw a white wire. That white wire was actually 14-2 wire. I did it just so I can get power back to the refrigerator for the night, and then I went out and bought the 12-2 that is the proper way to do this. So just like I said, just keep in mind, when you do it right the first time, you don't have to redo it. This would be covered up in a wall and I would never be able to fix it later. So do it right the first time and save yourself a major heartache later, because if I was to put 14-2 line in there, which I know bigger number makes you think bigger wire, but it's not. The smaller the number, the thicker the gauge of the wire, so it can actually handle more electricity, hence the 20 amperage. So I'm gonna go ahead and knock out this wall. It's gonna be like 2 and maybe a sliver piece, we'll see. Mark out my outlets, mark out my, yeah, I know I probably should have got the plates to go over here, but I'm gonna mark out where those are at so I don't drill through them. Just, yeah, whatever, I know. Probably should have got the plates for it. Again, do it right the first time. Don't listen to me on everything. Alright, so by now I have 2 or 3 coats on all the seams, on all the nail holes, all the screw holes, everywhere. I am not going to take the chance again. I started in the pantry with 1 coat. When I did the ceiling, I did 2 coats. Now on the walls, 3, 4, 5, however many it's going to take. But I'm still texturing, so I'm just trying to refine my process here. But for right now, I'm gonna focus on these 2 walls. These 2 walls are ready. I've looked them over, and now all I need to do is light sanding. Might do a little sponge work on this one, I don't know. But that's where I'm at right now. If you can see it, there's actually a red chalk line all the way around the room. That red chalk line is a few inches below where my counters are gonna be, my cabinets are gonna be. What that tells me, that kind of gives me a frame of reference of, hey, I don't really need to take care of those areas down below to that much detail. Maybe where the sink is going to be at, because I'm not going to be putting a backer on that cabinet in the sink because of all that plumbing. I don't want to fight that and cause the same problem for the next person that somebody did for me. So we're not going to do that. Now, what I'm going to focus on, like I said, is very light sanding, very light sponge work, and I'm going to get these 2 walls ready, and then I'm going to go straight into texturing these 2 walls. Let's get going. Alrighty, now that we finished that side of the kitchen, it's time to work on this side of the kitchen. This side's going to take a little bit more because of the fact I got those 45-degree corners. they're taking a lot more work than I anticipated, and I think it might be the type of drywall tape that I used. I actually didn't know this, but there's actually specialized tape that holds a different angle better than the regular run-of-the-mill stuff that you buy at the big box stores. So maybe in the future, whenever I do a 45-degree corner again, I'll spend the money and go buy that. So my problem is like right here on this seam, this side is really good, maybe, but on this side, the tape is peeling back again. So I either need to go in here and just cut that edge of the tape out, or the better option is get this corner on this side sanded to where I need it to be, which will create a nice little crease on this end, and then build up on the front. I got the same thing kind of going on this side. So these were metal corners with tape on them, come from the store like that. The front's good. Obviously I need to sand it a little bit more. But on both sides, there's just a couple little spots, like maybe right here, that because the paper is like 2 inches tape wide or whatever, it fluctuated a little bit and peeled back, a little bubble there. I mean, so I don't know on those. I don't know if it would be better to cut those out or not. On this side, I think I'm just still building up. Yeah, it looks like I'm still building up on this side. Just building that gap there. And the bad thing about when you're working on corners, regardless if it's a wall like this, where you got 2 corners, or where I have the beam and going around the corner there, I can only work on maybe this side and this side. I can't work on this side and this side. I can't work on this side and this side at the same time. I have to do them one side, let it dry, sand it, work on this side, let it dry, sand it. So I have a lot of work to do from that corner all the way to the other corner in the dining room. So the only way to do it is just take one bite and just keep on chomping. Alrighty, so that's that. Everything's textured and ready to go. So I'm actually going to be using frog tape instead of regular blue painter's tape. I'm going to give it a shot. So it's supposed to be better. I'll also be going around with, this is like 18-inch masking tape or masking paper. Hopefully there's enough. My plan is I'm actually going to run one row of masking tape on the wall, because I have a plan with the crown molding, so you have to stay tuned for that. And then I'll run another roll on the ceiling, and then run that 18 inches of paper out. That way, hopefully that'll prevent the overspray from getting to the ceiling. So let's get that started, and I'm gonna go straight into painting. So this is your last chance to figure out what color I'm using. Alright folks, so it's all masked off, and make sure everybody sees there's no dogs in the house right now. Dogs are taken care of. So I'm just gonna go ahead and quickly get this thing sprayed. The windows masked off, the doors are masked off, everything's masked off. So I'm just gonna lay down the paint. Now, this might be a bold choice, but final tally, the number is, or the color that I'm using is Explore Blue. So it's a bold choice, but I think it's gonna look awesome in here. So let's get to painting. Alright, so that's gonna wrap up this video. As you can see, got all the paint down. Started putting some of the outlet covers in, and there's the room. So like I said, I'm really digging the color. I think it's bold, but when I start adding some of the other features later on, I think you guys will dig it as well. So next video, I don't know where I'm gonna be at. I'm either going to be working on the crown molding or installing the floor. We'll see. To see the cabinets being built, you'll have to go over to the Bare Bones Workshop and subscribe there and watch the videos there. See you guys on the next video.